Warning: this video contains descriptions of disturbing and potentially triggering events. If you are not in a healthy place where you can handle this, please click off of this video and watch something nicer instead. So in my last Share My Life video, I talked about the beginning of my schooling years and up until the start of my attendance at a charter school for troubled individuals. And so shortly after that, I went through the most devastating year and a half of my life in such a way that I'm hesitant to even say things out loud, outright. Around 11 and a half years of age, we were living at the edge of town in a trailer park, basically. That was also owned by a local dealership. And I had a few friends that I played with every day after school. Well, one of my friends, let's call him Joe, he was always weird. He always had a really weird air about him. He always kind of just, I never knew why, but he kind of gave me the creeps. He was a little bit older than me. I think maybe a year and a half older than me. But I never thought much of it. Well, one day he decided to tell me about this awesome secret that he'd found out in the woods behind our park. And so, because I didn't really have much in the way of discernment of when someone was being truthful or trying to lead you up the primrose path or whatever, I went ahead and went along with him, and we got a bit away into the woods, and we found a glen or whatever. It was some sort of a clearing that you couldn't really see into because there was only one small entrance in. And Joe proceeds to knock me down to the woods floor and then sit down on top of me. And I immediately noticed the really scary look in his eyes, and he said, "Now we're going to have some fun, and you're not going to tell anyone about this afterwards. Got that?" And he proceeded to violate me in the worst way that I'd ever been, and probably ever will be. I still have flashbacks of that sometimes. I'm on medications to try and help my anxiety and depression and stuff. And I'm going through therapy for my PTSD and everything, but I still have times where that little creep drops into my memory and just, it's like he never left. It's like he's still in the back of my head doing it over and over and over and over again. And the thing is, I was hurt badly by this. I was scarred emotionally and psychologically from this. And because of this, about 6 months later, I lashed out and did some very reprehensible things where I hurt quite a lot of people by my actions out of anger and out of confusion and out of just sheer pain. And because of that, I ended up being hauled in for probation because I needed to get under control. I had to go through therapy. Never told anyone about what I'd gone through. But I had to go through therapy to fix what was wrong with me, they thought. Oh boy, did they only knew at the time. I never told anyone until I was about 17, 18 years old when I finally remembered, because after about a year and a half, I found a way to bury it. I don't know how, but I found a way to bury the memory of that for the longest time. But I had no say in where I went, no say in what I did. For a year and a half, I was pretty much a prisoner in my own home. I was put into a group therapy for malcontents like myself that hopefully would help me to work through my issues and find my way past them and work through them and just everything. And eventually around age 18, I was finally deemed graduated. But it took 6 years to get past everything. But that year and a half was probably the darkest period of, well, no. The next 6 years following that year and a half were the darkest period of my life. But that year and a half definitely wasn't happy. And it just made everything worse. My dad started getting angrier and angrier and angrier, mainly because I wasn't being the model child he thought I should be. Him and Mom would fight more often. Me and him even started getting into rows because I get so angry and I would just start trading blows with him at some points. It was just an awful situation all the way around. Which is why I want to say to all of you people that might be fighting a past like mine where you might have been victimized in this kind of a way, please do not let this go on forever. Don't let this be something that you are haunted by for the rest of your life. Get help. Find a counselor, find a therapist. But beyond that, if it's recent enough, find someone who can help you get the justice that you deserve. To put the person that did it behind bars, behind concrete walls, so that they can't hurt anyone else. Because if I've learned anything about someone who hurts others in any way because of something that's wrong with them, they don't stop at one. They never stop at one. They keep going and going and going, like I did in my anger. They'll go and do it again and again and again because they get pleasure out of it. Like I was seeking a release of my anger through it. Through what I was doing to lash out. It isn't helpful to anyone. It isn't. And it's not going to make it any better unless you confront what happened and find a way to move on. Thank you for listening. And I hope you have a great day. Please remember, your past is not your fault, and your past is not your present. If you choose to, you can find people who will help you move on eventually. Thank you for listening.